everyone, how we doing? Thanks for joining me tonight. It's a Sunday night. I'm live here in downtown Bangkok, not on the mean streets, but right here in my apartment. Thanks for joining me. And I'm happy to say that my throat is working again. My voice, I should say. I did do a live stream on Wednesday, actually. I just did a kind of a pop-up unplanned one. It was quite good, a couple of hours. But let's see who's in tonight. How many we've got in? Nearly 100. That's a good start. Donald Trump, how you doing? Macmillan Nurse, hello, Peter, from a very hot Sri Lanka. Talking about hot, it's hot here in Bangkok at the moment. And what you'll notice if you come in here anytime soon, I can notice a big drop in numbers now. We're getting into low season, or in low season. What are we now? Coming up to May. The rains will be starting soon, next few weeks, months maybe. And I notice it now. You know, when I'm walking around. I mean, there's always people around because it's a Nana area, so it's never dead. But I noticed now a couple of months ago, 6 weeks ago, if you walk down some of the streets and you looked in the restaurants, you just couldn't get a seat anywhere. In fact, when Damon was here, he'd arranged to have dinner at 7:30 and he had to put it off because he just couldn't get a seat. But the restaurants are half empty now, you know. It's that time of year. Let's have a look at what the currencies are doing again. I've just got these done for you fresh tonight. I know you can look on Google, but most people don't bother, do they, unless they're coming to Thailand? But there they are. That's from today. Okay. Okay, where are we? It feels really strange because I only did a live stream on Wednesday and it's Sunday now, and it's kind of almost like I'm on the same live stream. I don't know if that makes sense. Ryan, how you doing? Hello, Peter and everyone. I'm watching from Marrakesh, getting ready to go out. After the show, it's laundrette day. Yeah, the highlight of my week is laundry day. I do it myself. I've got a washing machine in the apartment here. All joking aside, every time I came to Thailand, apart from when I lived here full time, I used to live in hotels, and it was a routine to get a plastic bag that they provide. You never give your laundry to the hotel where you're staying because it's always outrageously expensive. So what you do is you use their laundry bag, and the Thai's been very entrepreneurial. They'll open up a laundry shop right outside a hotel because they know people are going to take their laundry in. To actually have my own washing machine where I can just chuck everything in and then hang it on the balcony, it's great. It's like a real bonus. You know, you don't think of little things like that. And in fact, if I wash all my bedding, including the duvet, okay, and put it out at 10 o'clock in the morning on the balcony, and I don't have any direct sunlight, not on the balcony, it's dry by 5 o'clock. It's dry, fantastic. You know, in the UK, that take me about 3 weeks to dry. Harry, how are you doing? 2507. Peter, hi. Good luck with the show today. I'm sure it will be a good one as usual. I don't kind of think of it as a show. I mean, a show is like when you're watching something like David Letterman, isn't it? Or who else would you know? Somebody like I mean, it's just me. I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just talking to a camera. But thanks anyway. Jesse, how you doing over there in the States? Hello, Peter and everyone. May the 4th be with you. Very clever, very droll. Yeah, nice to hear from you, Jesse. I'm glad everything's going well for you over there. Let's get rid of this now. There we go. Right, I'll wait till I've got some important news for you. You know about it already, but I'm going to, you know, they're bringing in this, it's already in now, the new, what's it called? What do they call it? The Thailand digital arrival card, the TM6. So I'm going to give you the website and everything where you can go up and do that. You got to. I've got the exact information for you, but I'll wait for another half hour till everyone's in. You probably already know, but I've got the website now. I'm going to tell you exactly how many days before, and it's very easy, very easy. Right, okay. Ben, thank you, Ben. You can unwind now. Atto, hey Peter, I hope you're doing well. So I got a bone to pick with you regarding the Indian block scamming the hotel. Can you let me know how you know that? What do you mean? Let me read it again. I got a bone to pick with you regarding the Indian block scamming the hotel. Can you let me? I honestly don't know what you're talking about. Reword it. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. Matthew, hi Peter, get a grip. Eating your fish and chips in Thailand. I know, terrible. Should be strung up, right? Oh, Dave, right? Tata, let me just say thank you to Tata. That's very generous of you, Tata. He's giving out 20 memberships. There's a feature on YouTube that you can actually give away memberships. Now, they'll only last for a month if you don't renew them, and you've got to be in the. I'm not sure how you enroll in it, but you've got to say yes. I'll accept a free membership. I think it's a 3 dots. I can't see what you see at your end, but there's 3 dots, and if you click on it, I think there's an option. Yes, I will. If anybody gifts a membership, I'll accept it. And when somebody buys some memberships, like Tada has just now, he can't say, well, I want one to go to this guy. It's just 5, 10, 20, however many, and they just get given out willy-nilly. So if you're lucky enough to get one of those tonight, and you've never been in the member stream, it's a good excuse now that you can join us in the member stream after this stream, which is quite considerably different. The first half is very similar, but I do lots of competitions and games and stuff like that. So if you've got a brand new membership tonight, you've got Tada to thank for that. Okay, so thank you, Tada. It's very generous of you, and I'm glad I was able to answer all your questions today. And I can assure you, when me and Steve go away on our Honda ADV 160s, we have separate rooms. Absolutely. Yeah, very kind of you. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk. Dave, you know the guy who made the video, Dave, Alpha Amigo, sometimes I think his channel's called. And he made a video saying, what the hell is these guys doing here in Thailand? Eating fish and chips. Well, yeah, I've actually seen videos where he's been eating McDonald's. So, touche, as they say. But it was actually very nice. He came into the stream on Tuesday and said, look, I hope I didn't offend you. And I was like, you didn't offend me. I thought it was funny. And he gave me a super chat, or a couple of super chats. So, yeah, that was just, strange how things go around. Paul, how you doing? Nice to see you in the stream. It's up to you. Hey, everyone. Jim, how you doing? Gold price is good. Good evening, Peter, and all from Alfretta. Okay, is there anybody else in Alfretta watches me? I thought it was just you. Richard number 5. Hi, Pete. Congrats on the 70 plus subs. Hi, thanks for that. It's really, really slow at the moment on YouTube. You get certain periods. It's like wherever you come from, you have busy times of the year, don't you? Like December is a busy time of the year, obviously, and January's normally pretty dead. January, February. It's the same for YouTube. Some months you get lots of people looking at it and signing up, joining, subscribing. In other months, it's just terribly dead. And at the moment, I mean, the amount of new subscribers I'm getting is just trickled to a few a day. It will increase again, but it's just frustrating when you're trying to grow your channel. Magic Mojo. Hey, Peter, how you doing? I'm doing fine, thank you. Magic Mojo. Super nice. Hey, Anders, how you doing? What's that picture you put up there? Looks like a champagne cork. Somebody very kindly gave me a bottle of champagne a month ago. I haven't drank it, because I do like champagne, but it's in a really nice yellow kind of jacket, and it looks so nice. I put it on my shelf. Sometimes people gift me things. Like I met a nice couple who brought me a bottle of Black Label, and when people give me things, I like to keep them on the shelf, and not really drink them, and I've built up a little bit of a collection now, and I'd like to try the champagne, but I don't. I mean, when it's gone, isn't it, as they say. Anders Bergen, 17. Okay. Franco, glad to see you back. You must be the only guy in Pattaya who's sitting in his room eating sandwiches from 7-Eleven. Dear oh dear, what's the world coming to? Toby Price, perfect timing. The old firm game just finished. Good stuff. Be happy, Pat. Hi, Peter. When is it going to be Singaporean bound? I don't think I'll be going back there, to be honest. I'll be really honest with you. I worked in Singapore for a while. It's really expensive. It was when I was there. Funny enough, I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and they were like, because I've just come back from Cambodia, and it's like 50 cents for a draft Anchor beer, 5% proof, brilliant, lovely beer. It's on a par with something like Leo, I think, San Miguel Leo, really nice, and always ice cold, 50 cents. It's a bit of an alcoholics playground, really. It's actually a few alcoholics there, deadbeats, because it's so cheap to drink. Now, why am I going on about this? Well, this is what happens. You see, I start talking about something and I forget. Singapore. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said it was like £8, which is about $9 a pint of beer. I mean, it's always been expensive. It's a lovely, clean, well modern city, Singapore, but yeah, it's not a sort of place I want to hang out. Too expensive for me. Dutch Farang, how you doing? Mike Braithwaite, hi. Keith Harnett. Kelly Harnett. How you doing, Kelly? Don't worry, I do mess everybody's name up from time to time. Mike Braithwaite, good evening. Catman, that's a new name. Hi, Peter. Did you see the tourist break and all the wine at 7-Eleven in Pattaya? I did. Do you know what? I put out a video about a month ago. I was just walking around Benjikiti Park, and I put a video out, and it was called Foreigners Behaving Badly in Thailand. And I didn't do a list of lots of bad things, but I was just talking generally about foreigners who come here and do stupid things. And I was reading today, there was an Israeli guy. I mean, I'm not picking out any one nation, but it's just a story that I read today in the member stream. I tend to read out a few quirky stories just to fill the gaps sometimes. And there's an Israeli guy. He went into a hospital car park, or he went to hospital. He came out. There was a, they leave their keys in their bikes here because nobody steals them normally. Honda Click 125 with the keys in. He decides to steal it. He's on this bike for 4 days before the police nab him. But I did see that. That was a terrible thing. A guy goes into a 7-Eleven, and they got all the wines on the shelf there. And he just started smashing bottles willy-nilly, and he was in his bare feet as well. Lots of crazy people here at the moment. I'm not surprised the Thais are getting fed up of us. Some people anyway. Gringo Pappy, good evening, Peter, from a rainy Vancouver. I'm coming to Bangkok on Wednesday. It's still dry. Actually, saying that, we had a hell of a thunderstorm last night about 5 o'clock in the morning, and it did rain a little bit today, but it's very, very hot. Normally I can handle it in the afternoons, but I mean, I know a lot of people who live here in the afternoons, they just don't go out. I do all my editing in the afternoon. So what I've been doing myself, don't let it put you off, of course. I'm just saying what I've been doing is getting up real early, like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I get out there at 9 o'clock because although the sun's up, it's still fairly not cool, but it's not boiling hot. And I tend to do my supermarket shopping and everything, get back for about 12. And then anything I've got to do on YouTube, editing, any personal emails, all that, I do all that in the afternoon. And then 5 o'clock, I get back in the game, as it were. I'll go out to the park or I'll go out for dinner or something. But it's real hot at the moment in Thailand everywhere. Yoz, how you doing? Afternoon, Peter and chap. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, actually, just talking about the heat, I'm getting hot here. Steve, how you doing? Rachel, now let me just see if that is your dog. So that is you. I know exactly who you are. Thank you very much, Rachel, for the very generous super chat. I know I always say thank you, but I do sincerely mean it. And I always say the same thing. Everybody works hard for their money, and to give it away to someone as a thanks, it is very much appreciated. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you very much. And if you ever come to Thailand, give me a shout. We'll have a coffee or something. Right, Edward Javir. I'm in Bangkok now. Been here for 4 days. It's hot and humid, but food are plentiful. Yeah, absolutely. I am back on a diet now because I was 108. I went down to 97, and I went back up to about 103. And I thought, no, I'm not going back up to what I was. And I started going on a diet again. I've now come back down. I've only been on it a week. Hang on. I've only been on it a week, but I've dropped the first week. You lose quite a bit in liquids. So I'm back down to 101 now. So I'm going to try and stick with it. I'm kind of doing a mini fasting every day. So what I do, I have my last meal about 6 p.m. at night, and then I won't eat again until the following day at 1 o'clock. And I'm trying to cut out all the carbs, breads, pastas, rice. I'm eating a lot of eggs, meat, chicken, beef, and all that sort of thing. I'll fry up some onions, some tomatoes, put them in the excuse me a minute. I'm just going to turn the aircon down because I'm roasting here. I must be the only guy in Bangkok who's got a remote control for an air conditioner, but I still have to go up and stand right next to it to turn it down. Really hot. Right, where were we? Yeah, Mr. Superstar. Hello, Peter and viewers. Great to have the regular stream back. I was only gone 1 week. Been a great week, says Steve. Been a great week here in the UK. 26, that's my sort of temperature. Most of the week, only 16 today. Yeah, when I was in the UK, I used to like it around between 19 and 21, which we didn't get very often. South of that was too cold, and north of that was too bloody cold. But when occasionally you did get that temperature, it was nice. Okay. Toby Price, I remember hanging out the laundry in Scotland. I would freeze. I remember that actually in the UK as well. You'd hang a towel out the laundry. Forget to bring it in the morning. You think, shit, the towel's out there. You go and get it, and it's like a piece of board, a cardboard, stiff as a brick. You don't have to be in Scotland to experience that. Anywhere where it's cold. Okay, so Gringo, you're saying thank you to Tada, and so we know one of those memberships has gone. Yours is saying thank you as well. So you've got a membership. Remember, they only last for a week unless you renew them. So if you like the members stream tonight, maybe you can consider renewing them. It's £4. I think it's £4.95 a month. Also, you get early access, like the stories that go out on a Saturday. I release them to members first on Tuesday. And most weeks I try and get a members video out for that goes out on a Saturday. Some weeks I don't have time. I hate it when I can't get a members video out, but sometimes I just too pressed for time. I do everything myself. Dutch Buddha, how you doing? Ryan, and remember, if the new digital arrival card is asking you to pay, it's a cowboy site. Yeah, be careful, because there's one of the things that was on TNT this week. Let me do this story and then we'll talk about that. So I'll make it really quick, because you all know about it. And but there are some scam sites that are trying to charge you. This is free. What I'm going to talk about now, you do it on the it's the I don't even know whose website it is. But it's free. Okay, let me just read it out. Okay, so starting on May the 1st, which obviously has already gone, right? All foreign travelers traveling to Thailand, regardless of their mode of transport, air, land or sea, must complete the Thailand digital arrival card, TDAC, before their arrival. The new electronic form replaces the old paper TM6 arrival card. Remember that little paper you were struggling to fill out on the plane with that little pen? The DTAC must be completed at least 3 days prior to your arrival. It's dead easy. I had to do one for Cambodia. I've got the website here. Let me just find this. Now, obviously, you're not going to go off and run and get a pen. Maybe you can take a picture with your phone, and for now, or you can freeze this later on. But that's the website. If you go there, if you come into Thailand, you go to this website, bookmark it, whatever. You go on there, and it will say something like, I did look at it this afternoon. Let me look at it now, sorry, while I'm talking about it. Probably won't be able to find it now. I've got so many bookmarks here. Thailand digital arrival card. Okay. Right. So when you go there, you got two. It's in English. You got two boxes: arrival card, update arrival card. So obviously, if you haven't, you can change details if you change. So I'll click on arrival card. It's asking family name, middle name, nationality, passport number, personal information, date of birth, occupation, visa number. There's not a red asterisk next to the visa number, so you don't have to put anything in there. You only have to fill in the parts with a red kind of star. So when it gets to the bit that says visa number, don't shit your pants, because you don't have to do anything. Don't worry about it. All right, and then continue. I can't continue because I'm not filling it out. But there you go, and there it is on screen. Okay, so I hope that's helped you out. But as I say, that I was watching TNT, and there's a number of sites that have come up on Facebook and various other places, and they're like, for $10 we can sort this out for you, and you don't need to pay anybody anything. Okay, it's all free, and it's dead easy to do. Right, okay, let's say hello to a few more people who have just come into the stream. Ryan Seagar, and remember, if the new okay, that's the one we read, wasn't it? Anders Bergman, you're talking to Dutch. The Gormless tweet, you're saying that's very kind of you. I presume that's to Tyler, is it? Rachel, do you have any stories from local lawyers? It could be interesting and a good opportunity for getting sponsorship. I've actually got a legal company that sponsor me. They don't. I don't want to go to the ins and outs of it, but if you look in, there's two people who sponsor me on a long-term basis. I don't put like kind of too many gimmicky bits and pieces, like, are you using Surfshark? They protect me. You see them on all these YouTube channels, or, I found this great little wallet. I don't know how I lived without it. I don't do any of that. I don't like to advertise verbally. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to be doing the stream and say, and while we're talking of air conditioners, have you seen the late? I'm a bollocks and all that. No, what it is, Rachel, and I know that's not your real name, but that's what we're calling you on here. I've got two people who sponsor me on Thailand Bound. They have done for a long time. It works very well. It's Mark from One Stop Visa in Soy 6. He sponsors me. I wouldn't work with him if I didn't think they were the best visa company in Pattaya, and I sincerely mean that. I've worked with other visa agents. I've dealt with other visa agents, and for me, even if he wasn't sponsoring me, I would always recommend Mark. He does my visas, he does my driving license, and I'm extremely happy with his service. Okay, so he sponsors me. The other company that sponsors me is Thai Legal Protection. Okay, I've done a lot of videos with them, and anything I upload, you'll always see two links in the description. One is Thai Legal Protection, who are a very, very good company, and also just said his name, I don't know, One Stop Visa in Pattaya Soy 6. And actually, the service that Thai Legal Protection offer, I'm not going to do a sales pitch now, but I'm just going to tell you it is a good service, because they have a membership for about 800 baht a month, and it's not a contract. You can come here on a couple of weeks holiday, take out the membership, and if you find yourself locked up in Lapini police station at 3:00 in the morning, there's a 24-hour hotline, so they're good for that. If you live here, they do things like check contracts in Thai, all sorts of things. But in answer to your question, Rachel, yeah, maybe because Peter's a friend of mine now. We call each other from time to time, so I'll maybe give Peter a call and ask him. He's always got stories, so I'll try and note of. I've got to ask him permission, obviously, to read them out. But good idea. We've got a Dutch Buddha and we've got a Dutch Farangin. Tada Mini. Okay, Tada, somebody else saying thank you very much. I was just wanting to purchase a membership. Okay, remember, it's only 1 month. You will need to renew it. Super nice. Well, Dutch Farang got membership. Is it the real or the fake? Okay, there's none of that going on at the moment. Mr. Scott, thanks for the gift. Tada, that's another one there. Okay. So basically, I hope Tada doesn't mind me telling you this. There's his picture up there, but he's half Thai and half, I think, America. Is it England or America you live out? That's my memory for you. But you want to come out here and live, right? And hopefully that will happen for you pretty soon. Right. Okay. Valan Allen. Hey, Peter. Happy Sunday. Thank you, Valan. Quite an unusual name there. Still have to send you that story. My apologies. Yeah, I look forward to any stories. I've got an interesting couple of stories coming out this Saturday from a lady in Peru, believe it or not. She wrote to me and she says, you know, I don't hear any stories on your channel about guys trying to scam women. It happens here in Peru because she's a Spaniard living in Peru. So she's Spanish and she works in a university, quite a prestigious university. But Peru, I don't know what the economic climate is with both countries, but apparently if you come from like a European country, like even like Spain, Peru, there's some of the Peruvian guys make it a hobby trying to kind of I'm trying to be diplomatic here, trying to catch girls or the other way around, and they kind of scam them by pretending they fall in love with them and things like that. So I've got two stories from her on. Is it this Saturday coming? Yeah, I've already done the ones for this week. So what date would that be? Let's have a quick look, just in case that's something that would interest you. That would be Saturday the 10th. Saturday the 10th. So there's 5 stories, and I guarantee you, the last one, I'm going to give you a challenge. The stories on Saturday, a challenge. If you don't cry, at least have a tear when I read out the last story this Saturday coming. You don't have a heart, believe me. I had such a trouble. I was sent this story. I'm not going to give it away, right? I was sent this story, and there's only ever been one story in 5 years that brought a tear to my eye, and that was the girl who got taken to Australia, if you remember, and they went out on a boat. The boat capsized and she died, and her husband contacted me and he gave me permission to use her photographs. A very, very sad story. But this one, there's 5 stories on Saturday. The last one, if you remember, make a note, have a box of these next to you when you listen to it, because if you I'll be surprised if there's anyone out there who can listen to that story and they don't shed a tear at the end of it. Okay, because for me reading it out, I couldn't even finish the video. Okay, you know, at the end of the stories video, I normally say something like, "I'll start as I mean to go on. If you've got a story, sit in, send it in. I'll change it. Blah blah blah. Thanks for listening." Normal sort of garbage that comes out of my mouth on a Saturday morning. This week, I just had to say thanks, guys, and end it. That was it. You know, it's a very difficult story for me to read out. Some of them can be. Ray Ross, hey, Peter, did you have thunderstorms like we did here in Pat? It woke me up. I'm a very heavy sleeper. 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought we were having another earthquake. Yeah, it was really loud. Shane, how you doing? Dutch, what's wrong with eating a 7-Eleven toasty in your con? Well, put it this way, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you've had a skin feel, nothing really, but like there's a lot of nice places to eat in Pattaya. No, I understand. I'm only joking. The thing is with Franco, he's been down there several months now, and a lot of his friends, they're also staying in tonight because they're catching a flight tomorrow, and they'll probably be doing similar. I remember when I used to visit Pattaya, though, the last night before I flew was the wildest of the whole holiday. That's the night where I thought, well, I'm getting on the plane tomorrow. So, you know, sometimes I'd have 2 hours sleep and go to the airport. That was when I was younger, of course. Good morning, Peter, Eric. How are you doing? Dog, Cambodia bound. I had a good time in Cambodia. I released a video. You've probably all seen it. It was called Cambodia versus Thailand, and I made a spelling mistake. I spelt Thailand wrong on the thumbnail, but luckily somebody told me I've changed that now. And yeah, I mean, I could live in Cambodia. It's not Thailand, not by a long shot. I could imagine if you're living there on your own, it would be a bit boring because, you know, if you're with somebody, if you've got a partner, and you can get everything you want, you know, I mean, it's cheap, and the visa is very, very easy to get. There's no money in the bank. They don't need any. You don't have to do 90-day reporting. Siem Reap, they're all speaking English. And it's, yeah, I definitely could live there. Definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Thailand. I don't want to leave Thailand. But I was just looking at my options. If one day they say you need 3 million baht in the bank, I don't have that kind of cash flow, honestly. I couldn't do it. So, I'd have to leave. And then if I left, where would I go? Well, I'm not going to repeat everything I said in that video. You can go off and watch it. But Cambodia is coming up as a good second choice. Super nice, DF Sweet. Robert Koch, how you doing? Rob, that story you sent me. I'm going to read it out in the members section. You know the one I'm talking about. Thanks for sending it in. I did see it on a few news channels, but you reminded me about it. Brought it to my attention, I should say. So yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later on. But Pete, just to tell you, everyone to watch your superb video on Cambodia. I think you'll get the best viewing on it. Thank you, Robert. I know you enjoyed it. I did two. One was kind of like filming at the airport. Then I got there, filmed some of the temples and the hotel room, pub street. Just give you it was hard because there was so much to film. I had to kind of cut, get it right down to about half an hour. Because if you upload something that's 2 hours long, people are just going to say, "No, sod that, it's too long." And I managed to get it down to half an hour, but there's a lot of cutting in it. And I think I got it right. I think I got it just right. Although I'm a bit disappointed with myself because I was lazy and I didn't attach the radio mic and the receiver to the camera. And some of the sound in some parts of it, although you can hear it, it's a bit naff. But it's taught me a lesson to be a bit more, a bit more not so lazy. That's what I'm trying to say. So there's two videos on there if you're interested. I'll put that up there. So and a compliment again. Thank you. Paul Hoskins, they put it in the microwave for you in 7-Eleven. I kind of figured that, Paul. I mean, yeah. Yeah, they're all right. The thing I don't like about those sandwiches, though, there's a lot of sugar in them. I don't know if you noticed. Have one when you first come here and you'll notice there is sugar definitely in the bread. The Thais put sugar in absolutely everything. In fact, when I go out for a meal, one of the first things I learned to say years ago was no, because I don't like garlic, say it in Thai. I don't like garlic. I don't like the smell of it. I can eat a curry or an Italian meal because it's not, when you bring a Thai fish to the table, for instance, it's sprinkled with garlic. And as soon as it hits the table, it's like whack, it hits you in the face. So, I mean, a curry or an Italian that's got garlic, I can do that, but I just don't like that overpowering thing. And I know they put sugar in absolutely everything and salt. One of the Thai restaurants I've gone to, I've actually been saying to them, can you cut down on the salt? It's you got to be careful how you tell them because you could, it's like, is my cooking not good? Carl, okay, you're talking to somebody else. Okay, Steve, Singapore was one of my favorite cities. Hotel was 130 and only a basic 4-star. £8 a pint, great city, but I would say it's the most expensive city in Asia. And it's very when I worked there for a short time, I worked on Orchard Road many moons ago, and we used to have a say. I don't know if they still say it, but we used to say Singapore's a fine city because there was a fine for everything. You have chewing gum, you're fine. There was even a fine if you didn't flush the toilet. It's a fantastic mini. I mean, it's almost like its own little world. It's a real. I wish I had better words to explain it. They should be proud of themselves. I mean, Singapore is a great, great country. It's very small, but you go there, it's like elevated compared to a lot of countries they've done. It's a superb city, but it's just, truth be told, it is very, very expensive. And for a guy like me, I'd really be stretching it to live in a place like that. I certainly couldn't afford to go out to bars and stuff, and there's no need to. I won't try and pronounce your name there because I'll probably ruin it. Hi, Peter. Congratulations, Nigel Farage. He won yesterday. Most of the seat. Okay. I'm not going to get into politics because I never do on this channel as a rule. People come here just to relax and talk about all things Thailand. And once politics start coming up, some people get a bit nasty. So we'll leave it at that. And yeah. GC, hi, Peter. Love from Singapore. We just had our elections yesterday. Are you Singaporean, though, or are you a Farangian Singaporean? Because if you're a Singaporean, you'll be very, very happy what I just said to you. Okay, right, I'm going to have this out with this guy. Hang on, just put this up again. Okay, right, so Okay, I'm going to put this up because I could just block this or not read it out or anything. So I presume you're Indian, okay? I've got Indian friends here. I had Indian friends in the UK, some very, very good ones here as well, actually, in Bangkok. So you've written your short video regarding the Indian family in the hotel, the guy losing his rag and shouting to the checkout guy behind the counter, and you wrote that the guy is scamming the hotel. How come you know that? So to put it in perspective, it wasn't my video. It was somebody else's video where this guy was going on a rant. There was four Indians, I think it was, two women or three men and a woman, and he'd booked at least one room, but he was insisting he booked two rooms. Okay, the hotel staff remained very, very calm, very calm. Hats off to them, because when you shout in Thailand, it doesn't get you anywhere. What it gets you is loss of respect from the Thais, if they had any respect for you. Once you start screaming and shouting, and the way that guy went ballistic, okay, he could have handled it a lot better. But I'm going to answer your question. But if you haven't seen that video, so he was telling the hotel, I've booked 4 rooms, okay? They were saying, you've only booked 2 rooms, something like 103 or something. So he was saying, I booked up, I paid for all the rooms, and they were saying you've only paid for 2 rooms, and he was insulting the guy behind reception, calling him a bloody fool, and he was disturbing their business. He was going out to the front and he was saying, oh, they're rip-off, they're scammers, go and stay in another hotel, which is totally out of order. He's lucky he didn't get arrested for that alone, okay? It was a miscommunication between the guy who said he's paid for the rooms and the hotel staff. Now, if the hotel staff have got in their system that he's only paid for 2 rooms, they're not going to give him 4 rooms, are they? It's simple. Why would they? And at the end of the day, they gave him his money back. And that seems, people have jumped on that on social media and said, oh, well, he must have been right then, and they must have been wrong because he gave him back his money. Well, I know what the Thai people are like. They probably just got fed up of his ranting. I thought, sod it, he's not worth it, and refunded him. Okay. So I'm not bitching about him, okay? At the end of the day, I show videos about many different things. I've made videos about English guys who are rowdy and walk about patio with their arms out there, okay? So you don't need to take it personal. I'm allowed an opinion like you are. Opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one, and I vented my opinion. I didn't say it was gospel. I didn't say it was 100% true, and I knew that. It was my opinion, which I'm allowed to give, okay? So I hope that's answered your comment. Right, Gringo Pappy, appreciate the advice, Peter. I'll be there for a few hours before going to Phuket. Look forward to meeting you on my next trip. Yeah, you know, there's been a few guys come out this last couple of weeks who I couldn't meet because the days have just not, something's happened. Like I've had a bit more dentistry work done, I've had 2 caps. I got 2 caps here, and I'm having them redone. Porcelain, 48,000 baht. I mean, he's done. I've got temporary ones on at the moment, but they were going black at the top because I've had them 25 years. So this will be the last work I've had done. I had the veneers done. You know, here 90,000. It's a lot of money. But I've had guys wanted to meet me, and the timing's just been wrong. I've either had things I've had to do, I've had to go to the dentist, or I've had a doctor's appointment, or I've been busy filming, and sometimes it doesn't work out. So let me know when you're here, and if I can meet you, I certainly will. There's a Polish lawyer just arrived. I met him here a few weeks ago. I forget his name. That's bad, isn't it? But I'm going to be meeting him on Wednesday. What was his name? Can't see it now. So if I can, I do try and meet people. Do you know it's actually illegal to go outside in Thailand without a shirt on or without any underwear? A lot of people do, and I don't know how they'd find out you haven't got any underwear on, but it is in the statute books. Yeah, Robert, I'm going to talk about that later, mate, in the members stream because I got a picture on that as well. Thai Billy Boy, hi Peter, greetings everyone. How you doing? I think it's been a few weeks, Thai Billy Boy. Mr. Balding, hello Peter. Any news on how you just come in because yeah, we just talked about it. Any news about the DTAC has been going? Yeah, if you, I'm not going to spell it out again because that's one of the I spoke about 15 minutes ago. I showed everybody the website. It's very, very simple to do. It came in on the 1st of May. You got to do it at least 3 days before entering the country, no matter how you come in, whether it's land border, fly in or whatever. Ricardo, hi Peter. It feels funny watching you from my room at the Adelphi on Soi 8 in Bangkok. Well, you're not a million miles away from me if you're in the old Delphi. I can't even get the words out now. You're not a million miles away from me, put it that way. But it is really strange, isn't it? Travel Gamer, hi Peter. I'm 38 from the USA and really enjoy your content. Thanks very much. I did something that I rarely do yesterday, and that was I went out for a beer in the afternoon, and it was not strange. There's a build up to the story. So I'd finished everything I was doing by about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. something else I want to talk to you as well, but I don't want to forget what I'm talking about now. Let me just make a note of it because I will forget. Right, so I'd finished everything I wanted to do by about 3:30 yesterday. And you know Robinson's orange squash. If you don't know it, guys, it's an English product. It's basically orange squash. They've got a brand that's got no chemicals. It's got no sugar added to it, and I drink gallons of it. And I normally buy it from Lazada. I mix up I've got a 2-litre bottle. I put that much orange squash in it. I fill it up with water, and I leave it in the fridge. And it's just kind of nice having a drink of orange when you come in, when when it's very, very hot. And it seems to have sold out everywhere. And somebody told me that they had some bottles in Foodland on Soy 5. So I thought, well, I'll pop round there because I've got nothing to do. And I went round there and they didn't have any. I got some today from Villa on 33, carried them back, 4 of them. And I thought it's 4 o'clock and I was meeting somebody at 7 o'clock. And I thought, you know what, for dinner. And I thought, I don't want to go back to my apartment. It's boring. I've got nothing to do. And I thought, I'll go around to Soy 4 just to have a look what it's like. If there's any, this was about 4:30. I thought it'd be quiet now, I should think. Rarely go there these days. And I went into Stumble because it's a big bar now, isn't it? They've taken over the one on the corner, the entrance to Nana there. I forget what it used to be called, that one. And I sat, because there was a seat where you can sit looking at the pavement. So it's nice to sit there and people watch. Well, they were doing a promotion. They do a promotion until 8 p.m. You can get a pint of draft beer. I got Tiger, but you can get various other ones, Chang, Singer, that sort of thing. And I thought I'll have a pint of beer. And I never normally drink in the daytime. And it went down really well. And this American guy came over to me. He said, what's your channel? Can I get you a beer? And I was like, I'm all right at the moment, but thank you very much for watching my channel. And then I met this English guy, and I've already forgotten his name, but he's bought a property here. And we sat, and he bought me a beer, and I bought him a beer. No, that's what you can do here. That's what it's like here, isn't it? You meet people, and you become instant. It's an instant friendship starts. Not, you do that in the UK, and they want to fight you. And I had about 3 pints, and I felt like, I'm not a big drinker, as it were. And I left there about 6 o'clock and I felt a bit wobbly on my feet, And the person I met knows I don't drink in the daytime. And they're like, what happened to you? I don't know. But yeah, it was good fun. Good fun. Couldn't do it every day, though. Alan Duncan. Hello, Peter. I'm watching from downtown Toronto, currently in the production of the new Amazon series, The Greatest, the first ever authorized scripted series about the Muhammad Ali shooting until August. Okay, great. That sounds interesting. Really good. Praval, how you doing? Nice to see you in the stream. Guilty Traveler. Peter, did you happen to do a hotel review from your Cambodian stay? Yeah, I did. I did a review. What I did, the main place to stay really is Pub Street. Pub Street is actually not one street. There's kind of 4 streets, and at the end of the street there's a river with a market and everything. So that area is kind of like where all the kind of coffee shops, 7-Eleven, foreign restaurants and stuff. And I did try some Cambodian food as well. If you go and watch that video, which you obviously haven't yet, you'll see that I did try some Cambodian food, which is very similar to Thai food, but it's not spicy at all. I found it quite nice, actually. $1.50 for a meal, right? And the hotel I picked it because it was right next to that area, but unfortunately it was a bit of an older hotel. The room was okay, actually. I paid 800 baht a night, and but I upped it to 1,000 baht a night because when I opened the windows at the back of the hotel, I opened the curtains and there was literally a wall there, about a meter away. And I said to the owner, I don't really like this room because I like to have a bit of a view. And he said, no worry, I'll put you at the front of the hotel, but it'll cost you a bit more. And I was like, well, what are you going to charge me? And it's all dollars over there. So he says $20. And I said, a night? And he says, no, $20 for the 3 nights. And I was like, there you go, stick it in your pocket. You don't have to pay tax on it then, do you? I don't know if they do. But yeah, in answer to your question, I did a review. Okay, Paul, would you consider having an assistant in the future? I don't really need one, Paul, to be honest with you, because somebody said to me, I know guys here who send their videos over to India to get edited, because editing is the biggest part of, if you have a YouTube channel, editing is the biggest part of it. People don't realize, like them stories I read out on a Saturday, for instance, the editing takes about 8 hours, believe it or not, everything. The editing, the thumbnail, the whole lot. And so some guys, what they like to do to free themselves up so they can go out and do more filming is they do the shoot and then they send that off to India. And there's companies out there who'll do it fairly cheaply. Some clever guys out there, good IT people, and then they send it back or they'll say, look, this is what we've got. And the guy will look at it and say, well, can you change this? And eventually it's done. And there's guys who like to do that. But the thing is, I don't really want to give money away, so I tend to do everything myself. I've got the time. I'm here. Really, it'd be a waste. I don't know if it was a serious question or not, but no, if it was. Mr. Balding, Peter, what happened to the lady that was with you in the videos? Marley, it didn't really work out. We're still friends. It was a birthday 3 days ago. I wished her all the best for her birthday, which she wrote back and said she appreciated. But it just, I brought her into the channel to try and do something different, and it didn't really help me out as far as the channel goes. I mean, she was popular with some people, but it didn't really increase the numbers. Her videos didn't particularly do better than the videos I did by myself. And I just said to her one day, we'll leave it for a while, Marley, maybe one day, but not right now. And she was okay about it. She's got loads of work. She doesn't need me. Dutch, you're saying some questions on the visa DTAC are a bit too much, but it won't stop me visiting. It's really not. Honestly, it's so simple. They just want to know where you're staying, when you're coming, when you're leaving, what your passport number is. A few simple questions like that. It's done online 3 days before you get here. It's really, really not an issue, honestly. Go and have a look at the website. I've sent you the link already. Peter, I put the link up. Peter, you should do an advertisement for a VPN and that shaver brand, Manscaped. So I do use a VPN. I don't use Shark like a lot of the YouTubers out here. I use Nord. I just like Nord. And they do sponsor certain people, but some companies won't sponsor. They won't sponsor me. I did want Nord to sponsor me. I want to put a link in and everything. And they don't give you a reason. Like Agoda. I've seen Agoda on somebody's site, the hotel booking site. That's made, Thailand. That's the number one in Thailand, Agoda. And I have written to these companies, or I've tried to sign up with them because they have affiliate links where you can actually be an affiliate. And if somebody clicks on the link and books a hotel and they've come from you, you get a small amount of money. But they turn me down and they don't give you the reason why. And the only reason I can think, because there's other YouTubers who have got them on theirs, and the only reason I can think is because of my thumbnails, because, I always try and put a pretty girl on the thumbnail. People say it's clickbait. So what? Yeah, it probably is. But, it works, doesn't it? And that's the only reason I can think of why, maybe they think it's some kind of, X-rated YouTube channel or something. So, it's up to them, I suppose, at the end of the day. Right, La Adventure I'm going to screw this up. I can't say it. I was going to have a go. Hi, Peter. Greetings from Peru. 12 hours behind Thailand. Hi, everybody. Is this a lady who sent me the 2 stories in? It's a bit of a coincidence. I did mention your stories at the beginning, if it is you. Paul, being in Thailand now for over 3 years, you have acclimatized to the weather. I have, Paul, but it's just so bloody hot at the moment that nobody can, even the Thais don't like going out in it. Yeah, I sit, and I'll tell you how hot it is, right? Normally, I never put the aircon in the daytime. If I'm sitting here editing, I don't have a shirt on. I've got a fan there, and I have the fan going. I've got a big 22-inch fan in the lounge. I'll sit there with that blasting, no shirt on. I never, ever put the aircon on, not even when I first come home. But it's so hot at the moment that the first thing I do when I get into the apartment is I put the bedroom and the lounge aircon on for about 10, 15 minutes, just to bring the heat of the apartment down, and then I turn it off because I don't want to run it too much. It's expensive, right? And then I'll put the fans on, but it's getting really hot, really hot. Travel gamer, mine is lagging too. Okay, the 251209. Hi Peter, love the stream. Look forward to it every time. You are buffering tonight. Not sure if it's me or your internet. Right, let me do a quick speed check. That'll tell me. I don't think it's going to be me because I've got a great connection here. Hang on. There we go. I always do the Google one. I can tell straight away. So I've got to have a really good stream where it doesn't buffer. It has to be 50 megabytes per second or more. And currently, even going through a VPN, I'm on 188 megabytes. So it's definitely not coming from my end. I've got a very good connection here. Travel Gamer says, mine is lagging too. Oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was for a minute. Since I've been on this network, I've never had any problems with buffering. I used to get it in my garage back home sometimes because we were running on the old copper wires, but hopefully it's not too bad. Hi, Peter and gang. For once, I made it to a live stream. Hi, Ken. How you doing? Hobson's Choice. Evening all. Hope we are all okay. Peter, did you sort your 90-day? I did. I'll tell you what that was. 90-day report. All okay now. Mark and Pom, as said, been very helpful. Going to see them to get an extension after I do my 90-day next week. Okay, very good. Yeah, what it was, and I know this, and I was kicking myself. So I do my 90-day reporting online every 90 days. You get an email from immigration, say your next date for reporting is this date, and you can do it. I think it's 15 days. I thought it was 7 days before. Somebody told me it was 15. So it's 15 days before or 7 days after. You've got to do it in that time frame. And mine was due on I think it was the 6th of May. So I was doing it and it got rejected. I'm thinking, bloody hell, why has it got rejected? And I did it again because I thought there was one thing that had changed. I thought that's what it must be. And I found out what it was. And I knew this, but I'd completely forgotten it. I phoned up Pom, Mark's partner, and I said, look, I've been rejected. They've declined it. What's going on, sort of thing. 3 years, I've never had this, refusal. And she said, because you've gone out to Cambodia, you've gone out of the country, when you come back in, the 90-day clock starts from day one again. So actually, you're not due to do your 90-day report until like the 3rd week of July. I put down 23rd of July. So it was getting rejected because I didn't need to do it. Simple as that. And so, yeah, it's all good now. Thank you. Alan, hi, Peter. Things still going well with my Thai girlfriend. I hope to bring her out to Australia for a visit soon. The visitor's visa has been approved. Oh, well done. Congratulations. It gets turned down quite often for a lot of guys. Australia's quite strict. Okay, so Franco says, yes, I think it's lagging just a little bit. Seems to be okay now. Okay. Let me just check because someone else is here. I want to make sure they're not on my internet. I'm here. Yeah. I've got a friend here who's using my internet. I've just said use your own roaming data just in case. It's not normally an issue. Yeah, a lot of people say it's buffering. That's annoying. Mazza, hello, Peter. Happy bank holiday to you, UK. We'll have a few sherbets for you. Nice one, Mazza. Okay, I just want to... Am I way behind in the comments? Let me just have a look. Oh, Christ, yeah, I'm way behind. Look, what I'm going to do, because I just get later and later and later, so I'm going to skip through a load of... Let me say hello to you, but I won't read the comments out. So I'll be here all night. I want to get down to some of the later ones. Let me try and find out where I was. Where was I? Okay. Around here somewhere. Right, Franco. Right, so I'm going to just say hi to a load of people so I can get through. I'm not going to read the comments out because I'm just so far behind now. If it's a question, you can ask me again and I'll read it out. So, okay, I'll just do this one first because it's a very good question. So it says, hi, Peter, you've been living your dream in the land of smiles for a few years. Are you happy living alone, doing your stuff, or do you have plans for finding a soulmate or a girlfriend, etc.? Okay, well, that kind of side of things, you would have to be in the members area for me to discuss because I don't really discuss it here. Okay, but what I will do, I'll answer your question. So somebody asked me, the question I get asked more than anything else is there anything you miss about the UK? And I've always said no. And really there isn't. You know, I'm in touch with my daughters, so I don't really miss them because I talk to them with WhatsApp, FaceTime, and all the rest of it. And I've got no friends in the UK. I lost them years ago when I started working abroad. I miss my dog, you know. But other than that, I thought no. But do you know what? I realised today there is something I miss big time, and I didn't realise it until the other day. And it's my garden. I had quite a nice 4-bedroom standalone house in the UK. It was built 1990, so it's quite, you know, the garden's not like a pocket handkerchief. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was a nice sized family garden. And the thing is, I'm a guy, I can't sit and watch daytime TV or anything like that. I've got to be doing something, you know. I've always worked all my life. I've never had a day off sick from work. If I've been sick, I've carried on working. And you know, in the UK, there's always something to do in your garden. In the summer, you've got to mow your lawn every week. You've got to cut your hedges. I had a little vegetable plot, only probably, I don't know, 8 foot by 12 foot maybe. I used to grow a few tomatoes and some chilies and some various bits and pieces, onions and stuff. And the only reason I had that, not because I'm a really keen gardener, but it's because in the summer I couldn't stand to come into the house at 8 o'clock at night when it was beautiful sunlight, and it was daytime till 10 o'clock at night in the UK, and the sky's still blue. It never goes black. It kind of goes a very dark blue, and I wanted to be out in the evenings because it's nice in the UK in the evenings in the summer. So I had a little vegetable plot. But the point is of the story, there's always something to do. You're either fixing your fence posts, or you got to cover them in what's that stuff called? The brown paint you paint your fences with to protect them from the weather. There's always something, and that's what I actually miss, being able to go out, because I'm in an apartment. Sometimes I do get bored, because when you live here, you can't go out and party every night. YouTube takes up a lot of my time. Sure, it does, but there's the odd day where I might go to the park at, say, 6 o'clock for a walk, or 5 o'clock, but there's the odd day I finish what I'm doing, it's 3 o'clock. I don't particularly want to go anywhere special. I mean, I've done my shopping. I've seen everything there is to see. And I'm thinking, what do I do now? And you can hit that couple of hours where you're a bit, you force yourself back onto the PC because there's nothing to do. And if I had a garden, of course, I could step out into the garden and tinker about with stuff, So I miss that. But I'm happy. Yeah, I'm very happy. Why would I not be happy coming out here? I never run down England. I mean, there's some terrible things going on there at the moment, which is really sad to see a great country, happen to a great country. I never sort of talk badly about it, but on the other hand, I wouldn't have a life out. If I was in the UK by myself now, what would I do? What would I do? Go fishing? In the winter, it gets dark at 3:30. Am I going to be sitting in a 1-bedroom flat looking at daytime TV? Or what? At least here I can get out and there's a lot more to do. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Wonky Travels, did you take dollars or change in Cambodia? Took them with me, because if you take them from an ATM machine, they charge between, I think it's $4 and $6. So you can get them easily in Bangkok from change booths. Around Sukhumvit, they got dollars. Neil Thompson, still live. I don't believe I caught one. Mazza, did you hit? Yeah, heard that. Right, let me skip through a few of these comments because I'm way behind now. Guys, if you've got a serious question and I've skipped past it, let me know, and I'll read it out second time round. Okay, let's start with somebody we haven't said hello to. Thomas Wright. Okay. Good morning, Peter from Niagara Falls, Canada. Great show as usual. My Thai wife watched your awesome video from Cambodia and brought back many memories. Okay, it's always nice when I know there's a few Thai people watching. I don't have many Thai people watch, but I do get some. Okay, I missed Paul's comments. I missed Paul's because I skipped a load of comments. I missed Paul, so maybe I can do it again, Paul. 20 Rothmans. My friend is a fellow Aussie based in Singapore. He's blown away by how cheap Sydney is when he visits. I bet, and everybody says Australia is expensive. Barry, I'll tell you something that did shock me. I don't smoke, but I used to smoke, and I used to like to smoke roll-ups in the UK. Roll your own. I used to smoke a brand called Drum Rolling Tobacco. And when I was there, I used to get 50 grams at a time. So it'd last me about 6 days a week. I was a heavy smoker, and I get the filters and everything. And when I was there, when I was smoking in the UK, and probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago, it was £18.95 for 50 grams of drum. And one of the things in Cambodia, it's an alcoholic and smoker's paradise because it's so cheap. And because I used to smoke, they got all the international cigarettes in this big supermarket, rolling tobacco from everywhere. I thought, I wonder how much it is. And I looked. And 50 grams of drum is $4.50, right? That's like £4 for 50 grams of drum. And I actually said on the video, I said, it's very cheap. It's $4.50. I said, it's probably about 25 quid in the UK now, £25. Because it had been $18.95, I was kind of thinking it's probably gone up to 25 now. Somebody wrote to me the other day and says, Peter, it's £48 for 50 grams of rolling tobacco. I'm like, what? £48? Jesus Christ. Thank God I did give up smoking. Yeah, Gringo. He says, I just applied for the DTAC for my arrival on May 7, 10 minutes, all done and received. This is what I did when I went to Cambodia. Like in that video, I said, do it all online because they have a similar system. but you can print all this out, you know. And I got to the airport, and all these foreigners are on. They've got a bank of 10-inch tablets, you know, and all these foreigners are on there because they send them to these tablets to do all the online stuff. And they scratching their heads, not knowing what to do. And I walked in, and I've got like my QR code for the temples. I've got my QR code for the equivalent to what we're talking about now. I've got the QR code for the flights, everything. And I went up to the guy in the airport, and I went, and he went, good. You very good. Go. And he sent me, and I was out in minutes, literally minutes from the aircraft to out. I was probably 15 minutes. Danny V, greetings from the Netherlands. Just booked tickets for 2026. Very good. Very good, Danny. Thai Billy Boy. Peter, I missed a few streams, unfortunately. Was in hospital for 1 month. Must have been fairly serious. I hope you're doing okay. And it's never a joke, is it, when, when you get ill. But good that you're out of the hospital now. Reggae Vibes, how you doing? It's up to you. Just got back from the carvery at the Robin Hood 8/10. Very tasty, but delivered to your table instead of being able to load your own plate. So I went up to the Royal Oak today for my for a roast, because I sometimes go up there for a roast. It's 300, and if you have the chicken, I think it's 315 baht, but you get a free drink with it, like a beer or a soft drink. I just had water. But you know what? I went last week. I thought I'll try this other one across the road. It's called the Tiger. And theirs is only 199 baht for their roast, but they only do chicken. They only do chicken or pork. They don't do beef. And I always eat chicken anyway. And I thought I'll give it a try. And it was pretty good. And this week I thought I'll go back to the Royal Oak. But you know what? I think I'm going to go back to the other one next week, because it's 100 baht cheaper. And I think it was good. I've had a few messages from people who said, thanks for your recommendation for the fish and chips from the Royal Oak. I went there today and they were really good. So next time I go to the Royal Oak, I think I'll have fish and chips. Alan, hi Peter, after 2 visits to Bangkok in 7 months to see my Isan girl, all is well, bringing her to Melbourne on a visitor's visa, bring her for a month and see how we go. She seems totally legit so far. Well, it's a good test, isn't it, taking her to Australia? Okay, so it is you, yeah. Peter, this is a Spanish Peruvian lady again. I'm off to Chile for research purposes in a few days. If something interesting appears or happens regarding guys approaching me, I will let you know. Good stuff. I've got yours is the first 2 stories, because I let you know anyway. But if there's any, I do get women watch your streams. If there's any women out there watching and you've got a story where, some kind of a love story that went wrong, or somebody scammed you, or anything interesting, send it in. I'll read it out. It doesn't have to be from Thailand. And that goes for you as well, guys. If you've got a story, something, happened in a relationship that is a bit bizarre, strange, scammed, it doesn't have to be from Thailand. I like the stories from Thailand, but anywhere in Asia or anywhere, actually, it doesn't matter. A good story is a good story. Right, Tada said, I would have stepped in if I saw that guy yelling at the hotel staff like that. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody did step in, because they have security as well. So, look, that guy who kind of had a little bit of a go at me, who said, I put the video out, how do I know what he was saying wasn't true? The way I look at it, I didn't sort of say I said he was probably scamming. I kind of said it was a tongue-in-cheek kind of remark. But the whole point of showing the video was, even if he was 100% right, you don't start screaming and shouting at the guy behind the counter and calling him a bloody fool, and then going to the front of the hotel and saying to guests who are checking in, they're thieves. They're thieves. Go and stay somewhere else. It's just whatever the situation, you don't act like that in Thailand, anywhere actually. Really bad. Any more news on Steady Eddie? I watched the video. I had to turn it off. I'll be honest with you. It was a bit depressing. He was in hospital in a bed, and it was really not very nice to watch. Rachel, you said there are AI editing software today you should look at. I'm getting into AI quite a bit. If you look at my Facebook pages, I do get some stick because people say, "Oh, you're making fun of Thai girls," and I'm really not. It's just humor. But I put a lot of images up on Facebook that I try to put different content up on my Facebook page to what I have on my YouTube channel, and a lot of the content I put up on my Facebook page is old pictures from Thailand, from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Anything old I can find, people find that interesting. Bar girls from the 70s, GIs jumping off Liberty boats in Patadi. I like to post, really old pictures like that. Well, the other thing I use for content on my Facebook page is I do a lot of AI because I've been practicing with it and I like it. And, there's a lot of cliches, especially in a place like Patty, when a girl asks you for money, she's got a sick buffalo. That's a kind of a massive joke that's gone on for years, so you kind of play on it and make a cartoon, of a girl sitting. I made a kind of looks like a real photograph. There was a lot of people have shared it and used it themselves now. People have actually sent it to me and said, have you seen this? It's really funny. I'm like, yeah, I have seen it. I made it. It's got my logo on it. So I did an AI image of a girl with a hot cup of cocoa, and there's a buffalo in bed with the blankets up to here, and it's got a thermometer in its mouth. And it was really just for humor. I'm not kind of trying to degrade anybody or look down my nose at anybody. It really is humor. And a lot of people do like those kind of AI pictures, but I do get a lot of flack. There's a lot of people have a go at me for them and say I'm being kind of disrespectful and stuff, but I'm really not. But the thing is, when you do social media, YouTube, Facebook, anything like that, you've got to be pretty hard skinned, because you do get a lot of flack coming at you from all angles. And if you let it get to you, or you listen to every suggestion that comes in, you just wouldn't know which way to turn, so you just got to do your own thing and hope for the best. Yoz Mazza, Eddie isn't good, buddy, on really strong painkillers. I was trying to get him to Liverpool for a weekend on me. Drive him about and show him how it's changed. Don't think it will ever happen. Yeah. Mazza said, maybe you could do a one-off video with Marley someday. The Marley fans would really enjoy that. I wouldn't mind doing that. I've got to think of a good subject, because I'm really scratching my head to find content these days. And with Marley, she's not the easiest person in the world to work with. So it's got to be something that she fully understands, and she's not going to take over. And but I'll tell you what I used to like with Marley when we did the videos together. I used to like putting together the bloopers at the end, because I'd tell her to do one thing and she does the opposite, and I'd say to her, like, the cameras still be rolling. I said, well, okay, so that's the end of the video, Marley. How should we say goodbye? What should we talk about when we go out? And she used to look and she'll say, that's it. And I'm like, well, you can't just say that's it and cut the film, So she comes out with, she's quite comical at times. And I used to like the bloopers at the end of the videos. They were very, very popular, actually. That's a good idea, Mazza. I'll get in contact with her, but I've got to think of a good video to do with her first. Jeremy, hi, Peter. Slightly late checking in. Chilly again back in the UK. Somebody just said it was 26 and very nice. Okay, I won't try to pronounce that name. Reed DTAC, what do we need to show when we get to immigration? Just the QR code. Yeah, that's it. So when you go on their website, and like I keep saying, I'll say it one more time, they just want to know where you're staying, when you're coming in, when you're flying out, your passport number, what size shoes you are. No, they don't want to know your shoe size. You put all that data in. Very, very simple. Somebody on here's just done it 10 minutes, right? Once you've put it in, it doesn't go to somebody. It's not going to go in front of a panel or a board. Should we let him in or not? It's all automatic. Once that information's there, you'll get a QR code. It'll come on your phone. You can either print it out or have it on your phone. As soon as you come through immigration, they'll scan it, and that's it. No big deal. You got to do it at least 3 days before you arrive, though. Jeremy, I hope you will not catch another cold. Maybe having to run the fans and aircon doesn't help. They've never really affected me, Jeremy. The aircon and stuff. People say, oh, maybe the aircon gives you, and that. It's never affected. It's always, when you live in central Bangkok, you're always getting on busy MRTs, busy BTSs and malls, and particularly the MRT and the BTS, they get really crowded. I try to wear a mask now whenever I go on the BTS or the MRT, but sometimes I'll be on there, I'm halfway on my journey, and I suddenly think, oh shit, I haven't put my mask on, and it's pretty useless then, isn't it? Jose, is it? How do I pronounce? Is it Jose? It'll be Jose, right? Hello, Peter from sunny Mexico. Thanks very much. I won't try to. I'll just take it as a compliment. Thank you very much, Tada. Okay, you're talking to someone else. Series 26. I went in May 2023 and stayed in my hotel room like 50% of the time, hot as hell, and I live in Q8. Well, I worked in the Middle East for about 3 years, and it's a different kind of heat, isn't it? In the Middle East, it's a dry heat. I find it quite pleasant, actually. It's like Vegas. When I went to Vegas, it's hot, but the thing is, we're in Thailand, it's a tropical heat. The humidity rate is 86%. So you have a shower, and if there's no aircon or strong fan near you, by the time you finish drying yourself, you're actually sweat's running down you. I've had it. I've done it myself. It's a very humid heat. And sometimes here, thank you for letting me know, Kelly. No buffering in Vancouver. I think it's okay now. Sometimes the sun isn't the problem. Most of the time the sun isn't the problem, because you go out in the evening. It's been really humid lately, very humid, and I just walked from maybe soy 11 down to soy 4. By the time I get there, I'm absolutely soaked. I feel my back, and it's just, don't get me wrong, I'm not whining, I'm not complaining, I'm happy to be here, but it would be nice if we had a week of just no humidity. We had a couple of days actually where there was no humidity a few months back, and it was bliss. It was really, really nice. Yeah, Toby Price, you are fine now. I am, yeah. Let's put these up again for you if you've just come into the stream. There we go. Right. Oh, wow. Uncle Nene, member for 25 months. That's over 2 years. Thank you, Uncle Nene. I do appreciate it. And yeah, look, about 200 members now. Always nice to see another member, but you've been one of the early ones. Thank you. Alan, yeah, it's definitely buffering. And I've just had the message from the lady saying it was okay. What I'll do when I have the break, when I break at 9:30 before the member stream, I'll try turning off my modem and turning it on again. That might help. I've had the PC on since 10 o'clock this morning. Sometimes if I do a reboot, that sort of sorts it out as well. But I don't want to do that just because I've only got 15 minutes. I've got to do I've got to fill the old water bottle up again, grab a beer. Right, okay. Dutch Farang, Peter, replying to your response on the DTAC, I feel like asking my income and occupation is none of their business and a private matter. I didn't know they asked you. That's a good point. They have my tickets and booking, enough to conclude. I didn't know that they ask your income. I suppose they're doing it to gather data. You're right. I 100% agree with you. But I think the reason they're doing it is probably to gather data to see what kind of tourists they get. Because they're always going on about, they want high spending quality tourists. They want to get rid of the deadbeats, don't they? That's what they're saying. Jesse, not that it matters much, because I think most people understand what you mean. But lowercase b is bits, capital B is bytes. Okay, so MBPs is megabytes per second, and MBPs is megabytes per second. I can feel the marbles are rolling around now. Jesse's about half the age of me. I'm 65. Everything I do on the internet, I've taught myself. I'm no expert, but all this with the green screen and the editing and the music and the cutting and everything, it's all, nobody taught me. I had to learn it all myself, and it's over 5 years. Okay. Mike says buffering on TV, but mobile has no issues. I haven't had buffering on a live stream for a good 18 months. Really strange. It could be the network. It's a Sunday night, isn't it? Maybe the network's busy. I don't know. I'm not putting that up, Paul. Steve, yeah, love my garden, but in it every day this week. Barbecue most nights. Yeah, it's just nice to be able to step out your back door. When you're at home, the next time you step out your back door and you just look around, see, is it raining today or whatever it is, just look at your garden and think, I take this for granted, because when you haven't got one, you miss it. And that's I miss mine. Buffering is probably the fact we are all in the middle of holidays and sharing Wi-Fi and such, so everybody should be patient or get your individual connection. Okay. Taxi Talau, how you doing? Haven't seen you for a long time. Hi, Peter. Hope you're well. I'm doing very well, thank you, Taxi Talau. Shane, hope they don't have worms. Paul Hoskins. Clive, how you doing? Pope San Miguel. Kev, Magic Mojo, he gets a girlfriend. Read between the lines. Okay. No comment. Not guilty, Your Honor. Creosote, that's it. Yeah, creosote. I couldn't remember. I've done it so many times, and I love the smell of it as well. When you're out there doing your fence. Are there any beaches in Cambodia? Not in Siem Reap, that's for sure. I mean, there is some seaside towns because there's a casino town. Where is it now? It's on the coast where there's a lot of Chinese built casinos, but they do have coastline. Cambodia does, I'm sure. Yeah, they do. They do have coastline. Um, I'm not reading that one out, Paul, either. Right, the reason I'm taking so long in between is because a lot of guys are talking to each other again now, so I'm trying to get the comments that I can read out. Alpha, how you doing, Dave? Hi, Peter. Watching from Pathom Town. I probably screwed that up, haven't I? Tani, is it Pathom Tani? Okay. I mentioned you at the beginning there. I did go over to have a quick look at your YouTube channel earlier on. Well done, 144,000 subscribers. That's brilliant, Dave. You've only been going a couple of years on that one as well, haven't you? I'm up to about 70,000 and I've been going for 5 years now, but I'm just an ugly old white dude talking to a camera, so not really overexciting, but I'm happy with what I've got, slowly but steadily. I mean, you've got all those pretty girls on there, isn't there? I mean, that's some real nice ones on there. Yours says, Clive, I'm in Hooters. Gringo Pappy, hey, Dutch, nope, only occupation. Right, I got to get away from you guys talking to each other. Okay, there's a name I don't recognize. Lewis. Hi, Peter from Montreal, Canada. We'll be coming to Thailand end of October for 3 weeks. That's a good time to come to Thailand, as you probably already know. The rains have stopped. It cools right down. It goes from about 38 degrees down to about 28 degrees. You can sit out in the bars in the evening. It never gets cool, but it's pleasant. A lot more cooler than it is now. Taxi to Lao, was that your first trip to Siem Reap, Peter? It was to Siem Reap. I went to Phnom Penh. Is it? How do you pronounce it? Phnom Penh, the capital. But that was like 25 years ago. URL Droid Superbot. A lot of people. I'm noticing people in the stream coming in tonight that I haven't seen for a long, long time. Some of these people. URL Droid Superbot. Peter doesn't cover Peruvian stories because it is Thailand bound, not Peru bound. He goes within half an hour's hot. Yeah, I know you're only joking, but it's really nice to get a couple of stories from a woman, actually. This lady's, she's Spanish, and she has a good job in Peru. And there's no kind of real incidents where you really open your eyes and think, wow, but it's nice to have something different, isn't it? Right, listen, if you just come into the stream, I'm going to challenge you, but you'll have to be honest because there's no way for me to check up on you, right? There's 5 stories coming out on Saturday. Now, if you're one of those guys who does listen to the stories, I'm going to make a challenge for you, okay? The last story number 5, if you watch that and you don't have a tear in your eye or you're not full blown, tears, then you don't have a heart. It's really sad. The last story I read out on Saturday. I mean, I mentioned this earlier on in the stream, but I tell you what, I couldn't even say goodbye. I literally just managed to say goodbye, and that was it. I didn't even talk at the end of the video. It's real sad. So my challenge for you is sit with a box of tissues, and if you watch that and you're stone-faced and it doesn't bring a tear to your eye, come back in next week and let us know. But I'll find it really hard to believe because I've read out some sad stories in my time, and it was like, wow, really. Okay. Paul, do they do toad in the hole? Food-wise, yes. Alexander, go to. Okay, I don't really agree with that, to be honest with you, Alexander. URL Droid Superbot. Are the buildings in Thailand not much resistant to earthquake? I read somewhere that many people are afraid to go back to high-rise apartments. Do you know of any of your friends? Look, when they build these buildings, they're actually built to withstand earthquakes. Now, there was one building that collapsed in an area called Jakojak here in Thailand. They're investigating it now. What it was, it was in partnership. The Thais were in partnership with the Chinese building this. It's an administration building, actually, not apartments. It's an administration building. It hadn't had the windows in or anything like that. They're doing an investigation. They found out the steel reinforcements that the Chinese made in their factory here in Thailand. It has like you have a bar and it has a kind of ring on the outside, and that ring, when you pour the concrete onto that bar, it kind of binds, and that what makes it strong. Well, so far they investigated, they found out that the steel was inferior. It wasn't real proper building steel. It wasn't hard enough. And secondly, the rings that go around the outside of it, they weren't wide enough. There's a certain width they have to be, and they were not that width. They were less than that. And when the earthquake took place, and was it Mandalay, 600 miles away, when you come into Bangkok, if you drive into Bangkok from Pattaya, for instance, or wherever you come from, you'll notice a huge skyline of skyscrapers. Bangkok's a huge city, 10 million people in Bangkok, okay? And it's just wall-to-wall skyscrapers, 50 floors high, some of them, okay? That was the only building that collapsed, okay? And I've just given you one of the reasons why. The other buildings have all been now inspected by volunteer engineering. There's a lot of superficial damage where, you know, my building's great. It's only 8 floors. It was built 30 years ago. It's solid, not even a crack in any of the walls in here. So, and I was in Pattaya, I didn't feel it. Some of the really tall high-rise ones that have got like 40 floors, yeah, because they swayed so much, the plaster's cracked. Some of them you can see gaps and stuff like that, but they've been structurally inspected, and they're not going to fall down, basically. That's what we've been told. And if you were here in Bangkok, you can see that, you know, the damage that was done is superficial. So I hope that answers your question. Josh Michael, hey Peter, taking my son girl back to Italy this month. She said I can't come until I've paid the vet bill for the family buffalo. Is this a red flag? No, just pay the vet bill. I know you're only joking. Tada, the Facebook Eye images are funny. Maybe make more for the members. Well, I'm glad you like them, because you're half Thai, and if you're not offended by them, it means I'm not doing anything too bad, am I? Mr. Damon, how are you, sir? Evening, Peter. What did you think about the old Pattaya picture video I sent you? Very interested. I put it up on Facebook, Damon. Yeah, it was. I've seen all those pictures before, because what it is, somebody has taken those pictures. Because remember, now everybody has a video camera with them, right? If you've got a phone, you've got a high quality video with you. You see something, you whip out your phone, bang, you've got something to go on social media or YouTube. Don't forget, in the 60s, 70s, and even the 80s, if you wanted a picture, you had to carry a camera with you, wind back the Kodak film when you're done, take it to the developers, and go back a few days later. And, you know, you had to have that camera. So those old photographs are quite hard and far between, you know, so they tend to be shared by lots of different people, and people use them in different ways. So obviously what he's done, he's collected a lot of Pattaya photos, and he's turned it into kind of like a mini movie, and he's put music over the top of it. And that's, you know, but I have seen those as an individual. But thanks for sending them, because somebody will find it interested on Facebook, right? I was going to mention something else. That's gone now. Kelly, for a laugh, I use AR to answer relationship advice on Reddit. It is really funny, and comments are crazy. I pay for ChatGPT, not because I use it to make up stories or anything like that. I've tried just to see what it would come up with, and you can tell they're fake. They're just, when guys write stories, they put their heart into it. You know, they tell it with detail. You put it into ChatGPT, and it's very flowery the way it comes out. You know, I entered the room, and the mist around the bar cleared, and there she was, this angel with, you know, pulsating lips. I mean, it's just bullshit when you read it, right? But I tell you where it's really handy for me. So before AI, what used to happen, I've been doing this for 5 years now, right? So before AI was around, what would happen is I'd get a story, and some of the stories are atrociously written, atrocious. And I mean, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm no scholar, but and I make spelling mistakes. I even spelled Thailand wrong on the last thumbnail. But some of them are just atrocious. And what I used to have to do is read the story and rewrite it bit by bit. The other thing is, people, you know, that I used to read the stories and think, do you really think I can read this out on YouTube? You know, the story was good, but the detail of the activity, the bedroom activities and the financial transactions and things like that, I'm like, well, this is a great story, but I can't read that out. So what I used to do, I used to have to read every story manually, take out lines of, you know, I'd replace some, you'll have to guess what the original content said, but I'd say something like, I then took her back to my hotel room, and we had a pleasant few hours of sharing cocktails, for instance. You know what I really mean by that, right? So I used to have to manually do this with every story, and it was such a workload. And now I take the whole story, I put it in ChatGPT, and I say, check this story for spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, close up paragraphs, make it one block of text, done, bang, and then I can read it out, and there's no mistake. Because what some guys do to make the stories longer, they'll write 3 or 4 lines and they press enter, so there's a gap. Then they write another 3 lines and they press enter again. So you get the story, which is 2 pages long, but there's a gap every 4 lines, and I have to close. I used to close them all up manually. You know, a hell of a lot of work. So Chat GPT for me saves me a lot of time. Talking about AI tonight. Steve obviously wasn't the biggest fan then of her. Good day, naughty boy. One, greetings from Hua Hin. I'm down there on the 15th. I've got a few things to do, but if I get a chance, maybe we can have a drink or a coffee or something. I'll be with a friend. Naughty boy, earlier and awesome. Jim, do you still get 60 days, or did they run it back to 30? They were talking about knocking it back to 30. I don't think they have yet. I mean, don't take my word for it, but normally when something happens, when it's done and dusted, it's on every Thai news channel and on every YouTube channel, and it's gone quiet. So this sort of sometimes happens in Thailand. Something's big news for a week and then you never hear from it again. Mazza, my missus loves it when I decorate. Paul, would you run a marathon in Bangkok, Peter, or eat one instead? Very droll, very droll. I thought it was a serious question then. Yeah, I did, Jack. For a really short time, I was in between jobs because when I was with the hotel industry, later on, I joined a company called Accor that runs Sofotels, Ibis, Mercure, that 5 brands, actually. I worked for them for years. But in my early days, I worked for an agent out of Hong Kong, and they'd give me a job that would last for 2 years, and then I'd hope they'd give me another job. And there'd be times where I'd have a contract for, say, a year with a certain hotel. It might not be a branded chain. This is in the early days. It might not be a branded chain, but it's still a 5-star or 4-star. And they'd hire the agent. The hotel would go to the agency. The agency would send my CV off with a few others, and I'd get jobs like that. And then I might be a month between a job, or 3 months behind a job between jobs, or even 6 months. Luckily, I wasn't very long between contracts, but there was a time I did. The agent sort of said, "Well, look, there's not much about it at the moment. If you can find something, find it, and we'll get back to you," which they did. And I had a job running a nightclub called Top 10 in Orchard Towers for a very short time. That would have been around 1980, 87, 88, something like that. It's basically 4 floors of naughty girls, just say that. And where the Top 10, it was an old converted cinema. So there was a VIP box at the top, and you could look down. Big stage and stuff, some good DJs there and everything, but it wasn't really me. I mean, I did it to bring in I needed money, right? I didn't want to dip into savings. I did it. I tried it. It wasn't really for me. And then I got back into the hotels, and eventually I got the job with Accor, which was more stable, which was what brought me to Thailand originally when I lived here, up to Khon Kaen to open the Sofitel in I left there in 1996. So I must have gone up there around 93, 94. And that Sofitel in Khon Kaen is now being rebranded. It's a Pullman now, but it's right in the centre of town. It's the one that's shaped like that. It used to be called the Sofitel Roger Orchard, and I was part of the opening team up there around 93, 94. Okay, reading my CV out here. How long we got? Right, I've got 5 minutes. I'm going to try and say hi to as many people as I can in 5 minutes. Dave Val, just started following you on Facebook. Love the vintage post. I'll tell you what surprised me. I was on 5. I didn't really take Facebook serious until about a year ago. And Simon, my friend, said, "You should do Facebook. You're missing out." And I thought, all right, I'll start posting. I was on 5,000 followers, or people who follow regularly. I don't know what you call them, subscribers. And I looked the other day, I'm on to 26,000. I'm like, wow, where did they all come from? But the only downside with Facebook, as I said to you on multiple occasions, YouTube's not too bad for the trolls and the armchair critics because it's controlled up to a point with their algorithm. They can fish out bad words, but Facebook is just open season. It's open season for anybody and everybody to criticize. You can put the best post in the world up on Facebook and somebody will come on and like when I did the fish and chip video, somebody just put "eat Thai food, wanker." Well, I mean, you can't eat Thai food breakfast. Well, let's not go there again, but yeah, that's the sort of comments that you get, not nice comments. Right, Stephen, I'm going to have to say hello to everyone quickly now, because otherwise you'll be moaning at me for not saying hi. If I miss your comments, apologies, but they're coming in thick and fast. 250 in the stream. Stephen James, hi. Fox Mulder, how you doing? Richard number 5, yeah, I'll put that up because I agree with that. Rachel, smooth streaming here in the US. Good. Fox Muller, how you doing? James, Stephen James, hi. Japan, I think that's Japan, Anthony. Yeah, I agree on that. I'm with you on that one. Richard, hi. Innovations, how you doing? I'll turn the internet off in a minute and back on. Thai Billy Boy, I think the casinos are in Kampot, Cambodia. I don't think it's Kampot because I've got a friend who lives in Kampot, and Kampot is a kind of nice town on the river. I'll check with him. Oh, that's the one. It's there. I can't pronounce that. Chinookville, is it? Is that Cambodia city? Chinese put hundreds of million into it. COVID happened and they forgot about it. Ghost town now. Okay. I can't pronounce that name, so I'll put it up and just say hi. Don't be silly. I'm here for the beauty. All right. Who else haven't I said hi to? Shell W. Peter, ask the people that type QQQ when asking a question directed to you. It will help you visually filter out the chats. Peter, ask the people to type. Yeah, I mean, you can ask them, but how many people will do it? That's the problem. They're building a casino in Osaka, Japan now. Okay. Rachel, deaf, not ugly, old white dude. You are very interested and smart to learn all these new tech in a few years. I've got to go looking forward to the new stories this week. Thank you, Rachel. Number 5, have a box of tissues with you. Thomas Pedersen, is it? It was a lie. What was a lie? Shane, attracting the super rich Asians. How you doing? Peter John, hello Peter, do you struggle living in Bangkok with the air quality? Yes, it's not very nice sometimes. 22 today, the PM levels were 22. I nearly fell over when I seen that. When do you get the stories? People just email them willy-nilly and I keep them in the folder, and when it's time I take them in a running order. First in, first out. Toby Price, hi. Weebaps, hi. Jack Flowers, how you doing? Praval, I'll put you up because I can't pronounce your name. Sorry. Shane, Weebaps. The only building collapse was made by Chinese, but the other 1,000 made by Chinese are okay. Was there 1,000 made here? I don't know. Let's not get into that argument. What we will say, it has been proved that the steel was inferior, and that was part of the reason it collapsed. Okay, I'm going to have to sign off now, guys. Right, look, I'll be back for them. It's 9:30 here in Thailand now. I've got to change the screen and film a water bottle and do a lot of other things. So, guys, if you remember, I'll see you in 50 minutes time. I've got the usual for you tonight. I've got joke of the week. I've got some interesting quirky stories that I've pulled off the internet for you. I've got spot the ladyboy competition, spot the Thai girl. I've got a brand new manga minute that hasn't been played on here before, and that'll all be coming in about 15 minutes. That's the second half of the stream, basically, and we'll say hi to everyone as we usually do. Starting to sweat here. I'm going to have to put that air con down again. Guys, I keep saying this, but when I play the outgoing music, it will come out really loud. So if you've got a child asleep or something, have your finger on the volume because my mic's way up there. Okay, guys, I'll see you in 50 minutes if you remember. If not, I'll catch you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. And a special thanks to Damien and Frankel for modding, looking after everyone. All right. Thanks a lot. See you soon.